Hey, have you ever thought about how hard it is sometimes to do things because people just don't believe in you? People just don't really see you as being able to accomplish what you think you can accomplish. And so it hurts our spirit, it breaks us down, causes us not to do what we really want to do. Let me show you something real quick on my whiteboard. You know, when you think about all of us and we're in this situation and we all, as we, consider life and we consider all the things we want to do, we consider the things that we actually do. Right? But in that consideration, there's always a reason or an excuse that drives what we do. Now, I want you to think about for a minute, when you think about a reason or excuse that drives what we do, I want you to understand that there also is a justification that we often search for. We search for a justification, which brings us back to a reason that we actually are going to do whatever that thing is. But we end up making a decision after we justify it, and then that leads to what we do. Now, when you think about this, I want you to understand one of the biggest issues that we can face as people is to actually, realize that I'm not actually doing certain things for the right reasons. And oftentimes we start and we set out to do something and we don't realize what really that driver is, what is really motivating, what is the real reason, what's the why. And sometimes when that why is out of sync with what's best for us as individuals, we end up doing something that is not actually what we truly want to do, because we start living for other people and we actually become absent and empty on the inside because we don't know how to live for ourselves. And so I want to invite you to understand that there is a very critical element to all of us as people, that we must learn how to dig down deep enough to understand why we do what we do and who we're doing it for. Now, when you start getting out of sync with this, you end up living a life where you're trying to get so many people to constantly validate you and give you permission to be great, give you permission to succeed, give you permission to actually be better than you are today. And when that person is not there, you end up in a situation where you cannot achieve the same things. You can't arrive at the same destinations. You can't fulfill the same opportunities because you are completely dependent on having someone to lean on. And if that person is not there for you, if that person is not believing you, if that person does not validate you, you almost don't know how to function. And so this is why we must understand how critical it is, right, to learn to do it for you. So this is something that is a great epiphany, to understand that I can do something for me, that I can actually have my own voice. I can actually have my own intention. I can have my own objective in life. And I can actually think about the things that I want to do because it's who I want to be, because it's what I want to achieve, because it's what I want to matter. And when we, don't find that voice within that still is able to communicate about what's important to us, we end up listening to so many voices that always have to drive us and tell us. And as soon as that voice becomes a whisper, our life becomes a whisper. But if we want to be able to have something that people notices about us that is unique and that is different and that is special, because all of us are that, we have to be able to quiet those voices that sometimes are telling us what they think is best. And we have to begin to raise the voice of what we really want to be and what we want to become, and then let our actions line up to that particular goal. Now, go back here to the whiteboard here for a minute. So when we end up in a situation where I'm thinking about what others say, right? What others believe. I'm thinking about who will like me after I do this? How can I get the attention of others, right? And when that begins to drive me, right, the next thing you know, I start to get disconnected, and more, this person here begins to be wiped out, and I actually start becoming more of a robot, because I am starting to do what I am programmed to do by the things that flood my mind that come from other people. So I lose track of really anything about myself because I'm so concerned about what others say, others believe, who will like me, right? How do I get other people to notice me? And some people have been willing to do that by any means necessary, right? No matter what they have to do, no matter how they have to look, no matter what they have to say. You know, we're living in a society today, unfortunately, where more people are concerned about people liking them, right? About people validating, people telling them that they're beautiful, that they're handsome, that they're smart, that they've arrived. We're constantly developing this hunger for that from everyone else. So what's happening is we begin to allow that hunger to rise. We start losing track of having our own internal hunger to be better for ourselves. You know, there's something that is lost the moment that I no longer think about who I want to be, because I'm constantly being shown the people I should be like and the things that I should do for everyone else. And I never ask myself that question, right? So this is why we want to begin to move from being more robotic and just going along with the flood of society to actually becoming an individual that takes a little bit of time to think about, what do I really want to be? What do I really want to become? Now, keep this in mind. When we think about this whole process, I want you to also understand that there's an arrow that kind of comes the other way too. So the things that we do, right, doing also shapes the person. So, of course, we make decisions and then we do, but we also want to understand what we do shapes who we are. So sometimes we do things without even realizing it, right? And we don't realize that we're fueling or feeding whatever type of person it is that I am trying to live up to or trying to match or I'm trying to be like, right? But when give you a great example. If I want to be a person that's more healthy and I don't want to be healthy, right? And so I can create an excuse that, it's more expensive to eat healthy. And I can justify the decision to start doing the act of eating more junk food or something that's not good for me, right? Or I can create a reason because that reason can be because I want to be more healthy. I'm going to go ahead and do this, right? But the bottom line is, no matter the reason or the excuse that you try to come up with, there's how you feel about it. And if you don't feel good about something, oftentimes you tend not to do it. But the secret is when you learn to do something despite how you feel, but it's because you know what you want to do. You know what you want to become. You know where you want to go. The sooner that I am able to understand what I mean to myself, then I can start doing things because of what I want to become, and it can work backwards to help change who I am. Now, what do I mean by that? Maybe I'm not a person who feels like they can eat more healthy, that they can work out more, maybe that they could do things that are more, healthy for their body, right? But I start to do it because I know who I want to become, not because of how I feel, not because of what other people are saying or doing. Maybe everyone around me don't even want to do what I'm trying to do, but I start to do it for me, because I know what I want to become. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to arrive at. And in the doing of it, it starts to shape who I am. And the next thing you know, I start to have a happiness with doing the things that's helping me become who I want to become. And so as you watch this, I want you to drop some things in the comments if you can relate to this. Like, if you can really relate to this, have the courage to put some things in the comments about how this has impacted you. What do you think about when you actually think about doing things for you? Have you ever been in a situation where you realized you were doing something for someone else? Could have been a relationship, could have been a job, could have been peers. But have you ever felt that you realize that you weren't doing it for you? Leave some things for people to understand how you got through that and why you recommend doing things for you is so important. When did you discover that? Or did you get some epiphanies out of this discussion? I hope you see here at URCO, we always are talking about the new definition of CEO. We are charging forward. We are expanding with growth, and we are overcoming the obstacles that hold us back. So whatever you do, make sure you do it for you. And if you do, I guarantee you'll start feeling more happy about yourself, and you'll find yourself finally in alignment between what you do and who you are. Until next time, keep running the business of you.